Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. Today, we're tackling a topic that's fundamental for singers of all levels: chest voice and head voice.
Yeah, it's something you might not think about every day, but trust me.
Right.
Understanding these vocal registers can be a total game changer for your singing.
So let's break it down. What are vocal registers exactly?
Think of them as kind of like distinct zones in your voice.
Okay.
Each one has its own unique sound, and it covers a specific range of pitches.
Like different gears in a car.
Exactly. You wouldn't use first gear on the highway, right?
Uh-huh. Right.
You need the right gear for the right situation. Same with your voice, different registers for different notes and effects.
Got it. So let's start with chest voice, the one we use for, like, speaking every day.
Yep, that's the one. It's our vocal home base, you could say. And it's really powerful, especially on those lower notes.
It's true. Why is that? What makes it so strong down there?
It's all about how your vocal cords work together. In chest voice, they close more thickly, creating those full vibrations we feel, right in our chest.
I do. It's funny how we call it chest voice because you can really feel it there. Like when Johnny Cash sang, you could practically sense the rumble in his chest.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's a perfect example. That raw, powerful sound. Pure chest voice.
Makes sense.
Now think about when you speak or sing those low notes. Can you feel those vibrations in your chest?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's like my voice has a heartbeat down there.
Right.
Pretty cool. Now, let's switch gears and explore head voice. That lighter, airier sound we use for higher notes.
Okay, so in head voice, things are a bit different. Your vocal cords actually thin out and stretch, allowing them to vibrate faster.
Oh.
That's how you hit those higher pitches.
So it's like fine-tuning an instrument to reach those delicate notes.
Exactly. But there's something important to clear up here. Head voice is not the same as falsetto.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've always been a bit confused about that.
People mix them up all the time. Falsetto is breathier, almost like a whisper. But head voice, it's still clear and ringing, even way up high.
Think Mariah Carey hitting those whistle tones. That's some serious head voice control.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She's a master at it. Now, if you try singing a high note yourself, do you notice those vibrations more in your head?
I do. It's like my voice is floating up there.
Exactly. That shift in resonance is key to understanding the difference between chest and head voice.
Fascinating. So it's not just about the pitch, it's also about where you feel those vibrations.
You got it. And once you understand those differences, you can really start to control and master both registers.
Okay, so we've got the basics. Now let's dive deeper and compare those key differences side by side. First up, chord closure. It's thick and full in chest voice and light and thin in head voice.
Right. Think of your vocal cords like two curtains closing. In chest voice, they're heavy and thick like velvet. And in head voice, they're lighter like silk curtains.
Oh, that's a great image. Then there's resonance, which we feel in our chest for chest voice and, well, in our head for head voice. Pretty straightforward.
Exactly. And lastly, there's the overall sound quality. Chest voice is powerful and grounded, while head voice is light and resonant.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. So recognizing these differences is the first step towards using these registers effectively.
Definitely.
But how do we actually get good at switching between them? Smooth transitions are something I struggle with.
Smooth transitions, that's the key to a polished performance.
Yeah.
Here's a great exercise. Start with a single note, nice and low in your chest voice.
Okay.
Then slowly glide it up.
Up, up, up. Got it.
Really pay attention to how your vocal cords feel as you move into that head voice territory.
Ooh, like a vocal elevator.
Ah, exactly. Going from the basement all the way to the penthouse.
Love it. And should we be focusing on anything specific during that ride?
Yes. As you do that sliding exercise, really try to feel the resonance shift.
The resonance, right.
You'll notice those vibrations starting in your chest and then gradually moving up to your head as you go higher.
Okay, so being aware of that resonance is super important. What about breath support? Does that change between registers?
Great question. Breath support is essential for both, but it does work a little differently. With chest voice, you might feel like you need more power behind your breath.
Yeah, like you're really pushing the air out.
Exactly. But with head voice, it's more about a steady stream of air.
So less forceful,
You
more like a gentle sigh.
got it. It's all about finding that balance of support without tension.
Interesting. So no need to blast the air out when we're hitting those high notes?
Nope. In fact, forcing too much air can create tension, which actually makes it harder to access your head voice.
Gotcha. Gentle and controlled is the way to go. Now, I've always wondered, is there a way to, like, blend chest and head voice together?
You're talking about mixing. It's a bit more advanced, but yeah, it's where you combine elements of both to create a really smooth, seamless sound across your range.
That's what I'm talking about, like those singers who sound so effortless, just gliding through their whole range.
Exactly. And it gives you so much control over your tone and dynamics.
So it's not just switching back and forth, it's more about finding that sweet spot
Hmm.
where the two registers kind of merge.
Exactly. Think of it like mixing colors on a palette. You can create a whole spectrum of shades by combining different proportions. It's the same with your voice.
Wow, that's a really cool way to think about it. Okay, I definitely want to try this mixing thing. Any tips for singers who are just starting out with it?
Sure, one of the biggest challenges is avoiding that break or flip between the registers.
Yeah, that's a real struggle.
It happens to a lot of people. To smooth it out, try focusing on keeping that chord closure consistent as you move through your range.
Ah, so it's like we're adjusting those imaginary curtains, right?
Sure.
Instead of letting them suddenly fly open or slam shut.
You got it. It's a subtle adjustment, but it makes a world of difference in creating a smooth and connected sound.
Man, this is fascinating. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand how some of my favorite singers get those amazing vocal effects. It's all technique and practice.
Absolutely. It's not magic, it's skill.
Right. Which makes me think, do certain musical genres like favor one register over the other? Or is it all about finding the right balance for the song?
That's a great point. Different genres definitely use chest and head voice in unique ways. Think about rock singers and that powerful belting.
Total chest voice territory.
Right. But then you have opera singers with those soaring, ethereal vocals.
That's more head voice, right?
Exactly. It's amazing how each genre creates its own signature sound by emphasizing different vocal qualities.
I can't imagine a heavy metal vocalist suddenly switching to a delicate head voice.
Yeah, that'd be a little jarring.
Mm.
But even within a genre, you can use both registers to create different effects and emotions.
So a pop singer might start a verse in their chest voice and then go into head voice for the chorus.
Absolutely. It's all about strategy, using each register to tell the story and convey the feeling of the song.
I love that. It's like a painter using different brushstrokes to create a whole picture.
Beautiful analogy. Chest voice for those bold strokes and head voice for the subtle details.
Exactly. And just like with painting, knowing your tools lets you create a masterpiece with your voice.
Couldn't have said it better myself. But remember, there's no one size fits all.
True, true. Every voice is unique.
Which brings up a big question. How do you figure out the best way to use your own mix of chest and head voice?
That's where exploration comes in.
It's all about trying things out, pushing your boundaries, seeing what feels good and what sounds good.
Totally. Like a vocal adventure. And hey, maybe a vocal coach can help guide the way too, right?
Absolutely. Think of them as a personal trainer for your voice.
I like that.
They can help you figure out your strengths, what you need to work on, and give you exercises to really develop both chest and head voice.
Awesome. So as our listeners start on this vocal journey,
Mm-hmm.
what are some important things to keep in mind?
Well, first things first. Progress takes time. You've got to be patient.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight.
Nope. Don't get discouraged if you're not hitting those high notes right away or those transitions are a bit bumpy at first.
It's all about practice, practice, practice.
Yeah.
And maybe stepping outside that comfort zone a little too.
Exactly. The more you experiment and push yourself, the more you'll unlock the potential of your voice. All those hidden colors and textures you didn't even know you had.
You might even surprise yourself.
Definitely. Okay, so let's recap what we've learned about chest voice and head voice today.
Sounds good. Hit me with those key takeaways.
All right, number one. Understanding these registers is super important for controlling your sound and hitting those high notes.
It's like having a roadmap to your voice.
Exactly. Number two, remember that chest voice is your power source, especially for those low notes, while head voice lets you soar up high.
And number three,
Don't be afraid to explore. Play around with those registers, see what your voice can do, find what feels natural for you.
that's what it's all about, discovering the amazing things your voice can do. This has been an awesome deep dive. But before we wrap up completely, I think we should leave our listeners with a little something to ponder, a little food for thought.
Ooh, I like where this is going. What if mastering chest and head voice is just the tip of the iceberg?
What do you mean?
What if there are even more vocal registers out there just waiting to be discovered, hidden depths to explore?
Whoa, that's mind-blowing. Like there's a whole secret vocal universe inside each of us.
Exactly. The human voice is incredible. There's always more to learn, more to try.
That's a great note to end on.
Keep singing, keep exploring, and most importantly, have fun with it.
Couldn't agree more. To all our listeners out there, keep experimenting with your voices. See what amazing sounds you can make, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.